Duende, little people of Central and South America. Etymology, Spanish goblin or dwarf. From dueño de casa, lord of the house, referring to a Spanish household spirit. Used as early as 1653 for a bandit in Peru. Since then, the term has expanded to include ghosts and other supernatural creatures. Physical description: height 1 foot 3 inches to 4 feet 6 inches. Covered in thick brown or black hair. Red fur or hair in Honduras, Peru, and Venezuela. Blonde, gray, or red hair in Panama. Flat yellowish-brown, wrinkled face. Blue eyes in Panama. Pointed ears in Costa Rica. Large teeth. Long, white beard in Guatemala. Heavy shoulders. Hair especially thick and coarse down the neck and back. Long arms. Chubby in Colombia, Peru, and Argentina. Thick calves in Belize. Chicken-like feet in Argentina and Costa Rica. Reversed feet. Pointed heels. Female duendes are rare. Behavior: mostly nocturnal. Inquisitive. Makes cries like a baby as well as loud roars and also chatters, squeaks, or cackles. Eats fruit, molasses, livestock, and fishes. Attacks dogs and carries them off. Plates the manes of horses in Colombia. Said to wear skins, rags, red or green clothes, and especially a big straw hat. Sometimes rescues humans lost in the forest. Folklore credits the Duende with a facility for language, making music, hypnotic powers, invisibility, and shape-shifting. Tracks: small and deep, with pointed heels. Habitat: caves, mines, mountainous forests, deep canyons and valleys, rivers, abandoned houses, plantations, and vineyards. Distribution: throughout Central and South America. Possible explanation: a fairy tale creature with no objective reality, possibly a mix of European folktales and Indian trickster myths. Fairy, little people of Western Europe with magical powers. Etymology: from the Old French fée or fee, deriving from the Latin fatum or destiny. Physical description: height 2 to 5 feet or smaller. Generally good looking, but usually with some deformity that is difficult to hide. Red hair, hairy face, long arms, large feet. Behavior: clever and mischievous. Eats barley meal and oatmeal. Lives in megalithic structures. Wears clothes, often red or green. Said to be vengeful, especially when cheated or when its home or environment is destroyed. Has supernatural powers and can become invisible or alter its form at will. Associated with buried treasure. Said to be fond of braiding horses' manes. Appears to children more often than adults. Steals human children and replaces them with their own, changelings. Carries people away to fairyland or detains them there if they enter a fairy hill and can be tricked into tasting fairy food or drink. Causes paralytic seizures. Social fairies engage in such complex social structures as government, art, music, marriage, labor, funerals, and war. Distribution. Worldwide, but especially known in Ireland, Scotland, Iceland, Isle of Man, and Norway. Significant sightings. In 1188, a Welsh cleric named Elidir told Gerald of Wales that when he was 12 years old, he had encountered two tiny men who led him through a dark tunnel and into a fantastic realm of little people ruled by a king. He returned to visit several times until he tried stealing a golden ball. The little men pursued and took it back from him, after which he could no longer find the tunnel. In 1757, when British cleric Edward Williams was 7 years old, he and some other children playing in a field in Wales saw a group of tiny couples dressed in red and carrying white kerchiefs. One of the little men, who had an ancient, swarthy, grim complexion, chased the children. The incident puzzled Williams all his life. In the early 20th century, W.Y. Evans Wentz traveled throughout Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Cornwall, and Brittany, gathering many oral traditions of fairies from all social classes. One informant, named Neil Colton, told him about fairies he had seen in the mid-19th century at Lough Derg, County Donegal, Ireland. He and some other children were gathering berries when they heard music and saw 6 to 8 of them dancing a few hundred feet away. A little woman came running toward them and hit a girl in the face with a green rush. The girl fainted after they all ran home and was revived only with the help of a priest. The notorious Cottingley Fairy photographs, taken by Francis Griffiths and Elsie Wright, somehow fooled many people over the years. It was only in 1983 that the women finally admitted to using cutouts from Princess Mary's gift book by Princess Mary, Countess of Harewood, on 2 of the photos taken in 1917. 3 other photos taken in August 1920 with a different camera were probably double exposures. However, they never denied seeing real fairies in the beck near Cottingley, Yorkshire, and claimed the hoax was done to demonstrate their reality. The photos and related documents sold for £22,000 at an auction in July 1998. On April 30th, 1973, Mary Treadgold was traveling by bus on the island of Mull in Scotland when she looked out the window and saw a small figure, about 18 inches high, who appeared to be digging peat with a spade. It was dressed in bright blue pants and suspenders and a white shirt with rolled-up sleeves, and it remained completely still as the bus passed. Unexpected mishaps during construction of a new road at Akureyri, Iceland in 1984 were blamed on the local fairies. Helgi Hallgrimsson, director of the Akureyri Natural History Museum, has collected many eyewitness reports from the district around Eyjafjörður, where a fairy town is said to be located. Brian Collins, age 15, was vacationing on Arran Island, County Donegal, Ireland, around 1992, when he saw 2 men about 3 feet 6 inches tall, talking in Irish and dressed in green with brown boots. They were sitting on a bank, fishing in the ocean, but suddenly they jumped away and disappeared. Collins retrieved a pipe one had been smoking, but it later disappeared from a locked drawer. Present status. Not a traditional cryptozoological puzzle in that these diminutive entities do not seem to belong to the purely physical realm. However, fairies serve as a reminder that even Western cultures have a difficulty separating the real world from the paraphysical. Possible explanations. 1. Folk memories of a race of small-statured people said to have existed in Europe in antiquity, suggested by Elizabeth Andrews and others. The survival of megalithic monuments that were apparently built by shorter people contributed to this belief. 2. Folk memories of Celtic or other pagan gods, dimly remembered from pre-Christian traditions. 3. folk memories of an ancient cult of the dead or actual spirits of the dead. Various types might be classed as the evil dead, the recently dead, the heathen dead, and the ancient dead. 4. Nature spirits of gardens and glens, elemental personifications of trees, plants, earth, and water. 5. Hallucinations of some kind, perhaps by fantasy-prone individuals. 6. Paranormal or supernatural apparitions, fallen angels, or a race of beings halfway between the material and the spiritual. 7. A pre-modern manifestation of entities related to the unidentified flying object phenomenon. Individuals who are taken by the Fairies have been compared to those who claim to be abducted by UFO aliens.